On a quiet, empty road, a newly married couple is spending their honeymoon. From the outside, it looks like a perfect romantic getaway. But when the husband leans back in his seat to relax, the expression on his wife's face slowly changes. Something dark is stirring inside her. Just a day earlier, while packing for the trip, she had seen on his laptop that he was cheating on her. But what hurt even more than the betrayal itself was that he had told the other woman he'd soon leave his wife. Right then, her husband walks in with a bouquet of flowers and gives her a necklace, completely unaware that she's already plotting her revenge. And what better opportunity than this honeymoon? When they reach the edge of a cliff, Will freezes. He's afraid of heights. Liv encourages him to face his fear. At first he hesitates, but eventually steps closer. Liv takes his hand, gently pulling him nearer, even snapping a selfie to reassure him, and just as he's distracted by the view, she takes a step back, ready to push him. But suddenly, a passing woman calls out asking for directions. Will quickly steps away to help her. Liv forces a smile, but inside, her anger is burning. Her mind won't rest for a second. New ideas keep flashing through her head. Hit him with a rock, lure a bear into their tent, or maybe a car accident? But she quickly dismisses them. In a crash, she might die too. Soon, another opportunity appears. They book a rafting tour. While Will is busy getting their gear ready, Liv secretly cuts the rope on his seat with a knife. When he gets on, his death feels almost certain. Moments later, the raft hits the rapids exactly as she planned. The water crashes violently, the boat tilts, and Will is thrown into the river. He shouts for help. Liv reaches out her hand, pretending to save him, but the next wave hits even harder, dragging both of them underwater. As Liv starts to drown, Will suddenly finds her and pulls her to safety. Somehow, both of them survive. That night, they celebrate being alive. For a moment, Liv hesitates. Does she really want to kill her husband? But at midnight, all her doubts vanish. She realizes Will has snuck out to talk to the same woman again. This time, her need for revenge becomes stronger than ever. The next day, they set off on a nature hike. They haven't even reached the forest entrance when an attractive woman calls out to them from a distance. Liv instantly knows it's her, the woman her husband has been seeing. One look at Will's face confirms everything. Will quickly says she's a former colleague, her name's Cara. Cara walks up with a smile, hugs Liv, and suggests they all go together. A few moments later, another man joins them, Cara's current boyfriend. Will is caught off guard, but says nothing. Then all four of them head into the forest, a heavy silence hanging in the air, broken only by the sound of their footsteps between the trees. A few minutes later, Liv deliberately moves ahead. One glance is enough to confirm her suspicion. Yes, Cara is the woman her husband has been having an affair with. Further along, they reach a river. The view looks like a painting. Cara decides to go for a swim. Will walks off to the other side, but his eyes keep drifting back to Cara, until suddenly he slips and falls into a deep spot before Liv can react. Cara rushes to him worried and helps him out. In that moment, everything becomes crystal clear for Liv. Her decision is made. She's going to kill her husband as soon as possible. A little later, all four of them return to the hotel. That night, they sit together drinking. Liv passes out early from drinking too much. When she wakes, Will isn't in the room. Confused and worried, she looks for him, until she notices a message from Cara on his phone. 1 a.m. by the waterfall. Her blood starts boiling. She rushes out to the location. In the darkness, she spots someone wearing a red raincoat. Without thinking for even a second, she runs toward him and pushes him over the edge. When she gets back to the room, she quickly takes a shower, deletes Cara's message from Will's phone, tidies everything up, and even practices in front of the mirror, rehearsing what she'll say if anyone asks questions. Suddenly, there's a knock at the door. She assumes it might be Cara's boyfriend. Taking a deep breath, she opens it and sees Will, alive. She freezes in shock, slams the door shut, and hides in the bathroom. For a few seconds, she can barely breathe. A part of her even wonders if she's dreaming. Then she hears Will's voice from outside calmly asking her to open the door. When she finally faces him, he explains in a tired voice that he passed out drunk in the lobby last night and never even left the hotel. That's when it hits her. The person she pushed wasn't him. The next morning, they get ready to check out. On their way out, Will casually tells the receptionist, "By the way, if you find my red raincoat, please keep it for me." Hearing this makes Liv feel sick. She rushes outside, where they run into Cara's boyfriend, who's clearly distressed because Cara isn't answering his calls. And suddenly, everything clicks. The woman she pushed was Cara. When Cara can't be found, her boyfriend calls the police and a search operation begins. Liv and Will join them, but Liv has something else on her mind. The night before, just before pushing Cara, she had lost her necklace. Now she has to find it. On the way, she spots it near Will's foot. Pretending to massage her ankle, still sore from earlier, she discreetly picks it up. She lets out a quiet breath of relief, silently hoping Cara is never found. But luck isn't on her side. The rescue team finds Cara, injured and barely alive. She's rushed to the hospital. The three of them head there too. When they arrive, Cara is lying weak and motionless in a hospital bed. Liv turns pale, terrified of being exposed. But then a nurse explains that Cara has suffered brain damage and doesn't remember anything from the previous night. When Garth and Will step outside, Liv stays behind. Gently, she says, "I'm sorry. You didn't deserve this." In a weak voice, Cara replies, "It's not your fault." Later, Liv sends her flowers. Trying to calm her mind, she goes out for a run, but when she returns, she sees Garth from a distance, completely devastated. Cara has died from her injuries. Liv hides in a corner, silently crying, overwhelmed with guilt. Hours later, she returns to the hotel, but suddenly Will grabs her hand and hurriedly pulls her outside. It turns out the police are questioning all the guests one by one. Afraid that his relationship with Cara will be exposed, Will finally confesses to Liv, saying they had an affair in the past but it's over now. He begs her to forgive him and to cover for him since he has no alibi for that night except her. Liv is stunned by his nerve. He's still lying. Just then, a police officer approaches and asks them to come to the lobby to give their statements. Will says they'll be right there, then looks at Liv with pleading eyes. In the lobby, he calmly claims they spent the entire night in their room. Liv backs him up because it protects both of them. After the questioning, the two of them go to a bar and start drinking again. Liv, no longer able to hold it in, tells him that if he ever cheats again, she'll tell the police everything. He promises to stay loyal from now on. That night, Liv drinks heavily. Every woman she sees starts to look like Cara. Disoriented, she somehow ends up in a church. When she comes to, a priest is standing over her. Through tears, she says, "I killed someone. I deserve to die." The priest asks, "Did you really mean to kill her?" She slowly shakes her head. "Then it was an accident," he says. And Liv keeps repeating those words to herself, as if trying to convince her own mind that Cara's death was nothing more than an accident. They return from their honeymoon to New York, but now they're living under the same roof like strangers. At Liv's mother's party, Will suddenly approaches her pale-faced and says the police have called. Cara's death wasn't an accident. Someone pushed her. If the investigation gets close to her circle, his relationship with Cara will be exposed. Once again, he asks Liv to lie for him, completely unaware that the real killer is standing right in front of him. To protect herself, Liv acts like she's forgiven him. Calmly, she says they need to delete every message between him and Cara. Thinking his wife has truly forgiven him, he opens up completely, talking about their secret meetings, even admitting he gave Cara a spare key to their apartment. Hearing this shatters Liv inside, but for now, nothing matters more than erasing the evidence. She sends Will to work to delete all the company emails since they used his work account to communicate. He manages to do it without any issues. Then, under the excuse of offering condolences to Garth, they go to Cara's apartment. There, they find a spare key and take it, making sure no trace of the affair is left behind. On the way back, the police approach them again. During questioning, both of them claim they only met Cara once on the trip and barely spoke to her. With no solid evidence, the police eventually let them go. But sometime later, Cara's boyfriend is arrested. When the police searched Cara's place, they found a large amount of cash and a fake ID. It looks like she might have been planning to run away. But Garth refuses to believe it. He insists it's impossible. He and Cara were in love and planning to get married. Even so, the police still feel like something doesn't add up. When Liv and Will hear the news, Liv is stunned, but Will seems strangely unsurprised. Calmly, he says, that day in the forest, her boyfriend proposed to her, but she turned him down. She was in love with me and wanted to run away with me. A thought sparks in Liv's mind. If she tells this to the police, it might shift their suspicion more toward the boyfriend. But Will objects, not knowing how to explain it without exposing his affair. Still, that very night, Liv secretly leaves the house, goes to an internet cafe, and sends the evidence to the police. In the interrogation room, the police place a diamond ring in front of Garth and suggest that after being rejected, he attacked Cara in a fit of rage. But he denies everything. Since they still don't have solid proof, there's not much they can do, for now. Finally, Liv breathes a sigh of relief. She thinks it's all over. Until her mother shows up, holding an envelope of photos she found in Liv's house. Pictures of all the women Will has been with. In that moment, she realizes the kind of hell her daughter has been through and decides to take her away, no matter what. But Liv, thinking her mother is trying to break them apart, snaps back and says, "I chose Will myself. Even if it ends in betrayal, I'll see it through." Her mother is stunned. Hurt, she says she'll take the photos to the police. But before she can leave, Liv suddenly breaks down in tears and confesses she is the one who killed Cara. Her mother, horrified, covers her mouth and whispers with a trembling voice, "Be quiet. This isn't your fault. That man caused all of this. Let him pay the price." After she leaves, Liv stares at the photos. The hatred rises inside her again. Deep down, she knows that if it weren't for Will, she would never have reached this point. And right there, her plan for revenge begins to form once more. Meanwhile, due to lack of solid evidence, Cara's boyfriend is released. He calls Liv and asks, "Did Cara really want to leave me?" Calmly, Liv replies, "Come to my place tonight. I'll tell you everything." That night, Will cooks dinner, trying to fix things with Liv, still completely unaware of what's coming. Liv lays the photos out in front of him and asks, "Who are these girls?" After a pause, he says, "Her name's Marissa. I met her at the office." Liv loses control. Her anger explodes and an argument breaks out between them. Right then, Cara's boyfriend shows up. He threatens Liv, saying he'd kill her for setting him up and making the police suspect him. Will, still not fully understanding what's happening, suddenly confesses it's all his fault. He admits that he and Cara were having an affair and were planning to run away together. Hearing this, Garth snaps and attacks him. Seconds later, Will collapses to the ground, unconscious. Completely out of control now, Garth turns on Liv, grabbing her throat and trying to choke her. Liv's hand hits a stone statue nearby. She grabs it and smashes it into his head. A moment of silence. Then, Garth drops to the ground, lifeless. A few hours later, Liv is in police custody. She explains that Garth tried to kill her, so she had no choice but to fight back. In the end, the police rule his death as self-defense, and Liv is released. After everything, Will says that if they want to save their marriage, they need to leave and start fresh somewhere else. But Liv calmly tells him she doesn't want to continue anymore. She just wants a divorce. She walks out and goes to her neighbor Ash's place. They drink, dance, and eventually kiss. When she returns, she tells Will they should prepare for divorce, but he refuses. Frustrated, Liv tells him she spent the night at Ash's and got close to him. Will doesn't believe her. "What did you think?" she snapped. "That you're the only one allowed to cheat?" Then she adds, "What's even left of this marriage to save? Let's just end it." But Will threatens her. If they separate, he'll tell the police that Garth's death wasn't self-defense. The next day, Will's co-workers throw him a farewell party at the office. Liv gives a speech in front of everyone, praising her husband, while Will nervously worries she might reveal something. After the party, Marissa approaches Liv and confesses that she had an affair with Will, but deeply regrets it, admitting she never thought about Liv's feelings. At that moment, Will sees them together and quickly pulls Liv away, taking her home. The next morning, he sees Liv packing her things. His eyes fill with tears. He remembers how when Garth attacked her, he couldn't protect her. Liv, calm and almost gentle, manipulates the moment. She gets him to admit that Garth's death was an accident, all while secretly recording him. When they arrive at the airport, the police take them in for questioning. A video has surfaced showing Will and Cara together. Liv acts like it's the first time she's seeing it, when in reality, she's the one who sent it to the police. Will is arrested, and for the first time, Liv can finally breathe. In the interrogation room, Will denies everything at first, but under pressure, he admits to having an affair with Cara, though he insists he didn't kill her. Then it's Liv's turn. She plays the role perfectly, a heartbroken, betrayed wife. She explains that on the night of Cara's death, her husband had left the hotel for a while. When he came back, he couldn't even look her in the eyes, and his clothes were wet. Finally, she reveals one more detail. The red raincoat found at the scene belongs to Will. With her testimony and the test results, the truth, as far as the police are concerned, becomes clear. Will's DNA is found on the raincoat. He's officially charged. Liv, on the other hand, is released. The police, now aware of the betrayal she suffered, even sympathize with her. 3 months pass. One day, Liv is walking in the park with Ash when she gets a call from prison. Will wants to see her. During the visit, Will sits across from her, cold and exhausted. He says he's finally figured it out, that Liv is the one who killed Cara. He spent months in his cell putting the pieces together, but one question still haunts him. "Why didn't you kill me that night?" Liv calmly replies, "I meant to kill you, but I killed her by mistake." Will lashes out in anger, then finally looks at her in disbelief. "Who even are you?" She answers without emotion, "Someone you created." Sometime later, Liv publishes her novel, the story of the very murder that happened during their honeymoon. She even sends a copy to her mother. Then she returns to the same waterfall, the place where she pushed Cara. A forest ranger warns her to be careful, mentioning that a woman once fell there. Liv, irritated, replies, "You men always think women can't take care of themselves, but the truth is, it's because of you that we're forced to become wolves." And that's where the series ends.